talk about that division, you talk about Jacksonville. They drafted Brian Thomas at LSU. They're going to be looking to try to bounce back to their form a couple years ago where they made the playoffs and won the division. Houston came out of nowhere last year like a speeding rocket, and they took a stranglehold on the division as well. I know you feeling confident. I know you feel confident in your boy. Do you feel like there's something there that like can legitimately make y'all AFC South contenders?
That's a tough question, bro. It's a good question. Again, like I said earlier, I think my main concern is our secondary. If we can somehow just correct the wrongs. I feel like as a zone defense, we're not ready. We're not there yet. Like I said, I've seen the past two games against Baltimore and against Arizona. We're just not there. In the zone, just not enough help. You know what I'm saying? Deep ball coverage, and I feel like that's just the main concern for me. I like I said, I don't know, man, because it's uh, Jacksonville and Houston, like you said, bro. Especially with Houston, bro. They made some moves. They got some weapons down there, Houston. And I watched CJ and dude looking good in year two. You know what I'm saying? So
They added even more weapons for the guy,
mm-hmm.
which again, shout out to Houston and what they've done because they were able to flip around a situation that prior to CJ Stroud and those boys getting there, we didn't know much about what Houston was going to be. And nobody could have predicted that Houston was going to go on the run that they went on last year to win the AFC South and to now CJ Stroud being in different conversations in terms of quarterback play. Like that's kind of what happened all in one season. I think my only concern for them is are there too many cooks in the kitchen right now? Like I know that's the thing that people like they don't ever really think about like do you have too much of a good thing going on with that receiving core? Because you talk about Nico Collins, a guy that's been around for a few years, really popped last year with C.J. Stroud as a quarterback. I gotta imagine he's looking to step into a different zone and a different stage of his career because you talk about prior to C.J. Stroud coming, you talk about a guy that was going to be relegated just being like a wide receiver 3 for a team, or or just a reserve option, not necessarily a guy that could be the 1 or the 2. Then you have Tank Dell, who came out as a rookie last year, got hurt, but also still very much flashed hella potential for what he can be within that offense. And now you ask Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs, OG, is the number 1 wide receiver in this league, has been the number 1 guy for a myriad of teams and different quarterbacks, has been able to do it no matter, despite who's been the person delivering the ball, he's able to deliver on production. Now, is that one too many for a team that last year had Noah Brown inserted where you had Stephon Diggs at now in terms of just on the roster? But obviously Noah Brown isn't a guy that's going to demand the ball like a Stephon Diggs can demand the ball. And there's a different type of cachet that goes along with that. Obviously, Stephon Diggs is going to make any team better offensively. Before a young quarterback that's still having to learn his guys and still learn this game, is that maybe one too many pieces to add along this early in his career?
I don't. I think it helps him mature. In terms of being a leader as a quarterback, to know he's gonna have a guy in Stephon Diggs that gives him, that 1-2 punch for him, and 2, it gives, like I said, it gives him options. I think this is a situation where, Josh Allen was put in that situation at one point in his career. So many young quarterbacks are put in that situation. I think it's just about how they handle it. So I think it's good for him. I think he's not thrown to the water. Even in his first year, he really wasn't. You know what I'm saying? But now he has a more veteran guy, a more experienced guy on that team that he needs. Mind you, he's in his second year, CJ. So it gives him time to develop and grow into more of a, decision maker. You know what I'm saying? It gives him more time to build trust into a receiver or his receivers. You know what I'm saying? And it gives him a veteran. It gives him another veteran who will help him, just see more things that he can't see. You know what I'm saying? Especially as a quarterback receiver duel. So I don't think it's bad for him. You know what I'm saying? Now, the only situation that will handle, like you said, is there too many cooks in the kitchen? That's going to be more of in the room of the receivers, right? The receiving room. What is the ego going to be like with them? You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's the question that you should be asking. It's more like as the season goes on, of course, Stephon Diggs is going to be Stephon Diggs. He might get double teamed. Some teams might triple team. You never know. Then you got to have the secondary and the third option. It's going to come in and help you win some games. Get they coins. You feel what I'm saying? And the minute that happens, some egos going to step in. Like, yo, I think I need the ball. I need the ball. So that's just more of you know, the leadership of like CJ, how well he handles that. You get what I'm saying? So I think it's gonna test his leadership as a quarterback too, because it's like, yo, the same way you trust me to give you the ball, you also gotta trust me to give you the ball at the right times. And I think that's something that a lot of receivers need instead of being gimme, gimme, gimme. It's just more of like giving you the right opportunity at the right time. You know what I'm saying? And you turn to no tendencies and all that.
You hit something pretty major right there, talking about leadership.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big thing in all of this. And like you said, like that, and for the people that are gonna watch this, like when I say, like, is there gonna be too many cooks in the kitchen? Yeah, that's what we're talking about. We're not talking about talent,
Mm-hmm.
because talent, we know the talent is there. But remember Baker Mayfield when they added Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham. You know what I'm saying? When they add, when you have those types of guys, I think Landry was already. No, yeah, they added Landry and Beckham, and I think in the same offseason. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
when you put all that talent into one room, how is the quarterback able to mesh with it? And I mean, and remember,
All
we
right.
watched a young Baker Mayfield. His career got really derailed because that situation didn't work out.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happened. His career got really derailed because that situation didn't work out, and you saw that when Odell went down in one of those seasons. I can't remember what season it was. I mean, I'll lose track of time trying to figure out what season is which. But in one of those years that Odell went down in Cleveland, you saw Cleveland start to take a step forward, and it alleviated like a lot of pressure off of Odell. Not Odell, but it alleviated a lot of pressure off of Baker to have to feed Odell and have to continuously appease his wide receiver one, and allow him to
Mm-hmm.
play more of a free flowing game where everybody just gets touches. Everybody just is touching the rock. And can you do that while everybody's still there? That's the main thing. And again, like you said, that comes down to leadership. But this is very important. It's a very delicate situation though when you talk about young quarterbacks, because no matter how good we think a guy is right now, whether these guys are still young and learning how to be leaders. They're still learning how to be men as well. So again, having to then talk to a receiver who's been in the league for 10 plus years now, that's got all pros and pro bowls and all types of levels of success. How are you able to regulate the room now that he's there? It's a lot different
Mm-hmm.
when it's Nico Collins, Tank Dell, and Noah Brown, and that's it. But when it's Stephon Diggs in the mix now, you gotta then play it differently. You know what I'm
And then
saying?
you also got to look at his past as a quarterback. I know a lot of people say that you shouldn't look at stuff like that, but you got to look at his past situations with other quarterbacks as well. You get what I'm saying? Play with Kirk Cousins, play with Josh Allen. How did all that turn out? You know what I'm saying? So you have to be able to approach it differently too. Like, okay, I know this happened this way. Have a conversation with your receiver as well. It's like, yo, like this situation happened there. What can I do to make you feel more trustworthy in me as your quarterback? You know what I'm saying? So, even if it wasn't, a quarterback situation, if it was a thing in the front office, another conversation. Yeah, what can I do to help you have these conversations with the head guys in the front office? Because at the end of the day, you're the quarterback, you're the guy, you're the face of the franchise. So you have more power than any position on that team. You know what I'm saying? So, um, having those conversations with your receivers or your running backs or even your linemen, having those conversations as a leader, just saying like, "Yo, what can I do to help you on the field? What can I help you do off the field? What can I help you, in terms of negotiations upstairs?" All these things really lead into your leadership. And with you being a second year player, now the pressure's on you because you have a veteran receiver who's been through all of that. You know what I'm saying? You can ask the questions like, "Yo, has Josh talked to you about these things? Or has Kurt talked to you? Or was he more easier to talk to when it comes to serious situations? Or whatever the case may be. Because we as fans, even with them, we only seen the good side, the handshakes, the buddies, and all that type of stuff. But like, what was it like behind the camera or off the camera? In a room, in a meeting room. You know what I'm saying? Or in a GM in a room, whatever, or in the locker room. You know what I'm saying? We don't get to see that. Only you and your teammates see that. So I think for him, he has to be able to just step up and say, hey, like, let's talk. Let's generally talk. So we can see eye to eye, page to page, and get this thing rolling.
And look, everything we're saying is purely projection on things that we've seen in the past. We have no idea what's going on in that locker room, but I think we do understand that a young quarterback has a lot to deal with. There's a lot that's going to be on his plate. You got to be a little bit more. They do have to be mindful with how they operate and how they and how they want to bring him along in this process.